Hi, my name is Beth Azor, and I own shopping centers in South Florida. And this is my podcast, I Own a Shopping Center, Now What? So I want to talk today about renovations because I'm about to start on a $3 million renovation on a strip center that I have invested in as a partner, and I own about 17% of the partnership. So this is a center that is in between two other centers I own. I've been after trying to either buy it or become a partner in it. So I met my partner when he was 76 and he just turned 91. So that gives you an idea of the cultivating of the partner, of the relationship, so that I'm finally became a partner in the last, I think, 12 to 18 months. So anyway, we have embarked on doing a renovation of the plaza. Like I said, $3 million. The plaza is probably worth, if it was appraised today, between 25 and 30 million. So one of the important things that was very important to me when we were bidding out the project and evaluating who we were going to hire to run the renovation was to meet the superintendents that would be on the job on a day-to-day basis. Because unlike any other typical construction, when you are renovating, and when I say we're doing a $3 million renovation, it's 90% going to be in the facade. So we've got barrel tile roofs. All of the tenant signs are these ugly box signs. So we're going to raise the parapet, the big wall that is on top of the tenant spaces, so that their signs can be large and very visible to the street. So this shopping center is on a street of 65,000 cars. So having a large parapet and facade on top of their premises with a big channel letter sign is going to really help them with visibility and exposure. But I have 23 ongoing businesses in this plaza. So things are going to happen, right? Literally, one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to do the renovation in 2 to 3 stages. So in the first stage, we're taking down all of the tenant signs. Now, we're only going to take the tenant signs down of the stage that we're working on. So half of the tenants will have their signs taken down for about 3 or 4 months. And then the second half of the tenants are going to have their signs taken down. Their signs will be replaced with banners. The banners will be installed on either the fence or the scaffolding that will be in front of their premises. But a lot of things can go wrong. And these are operating businesses, right? So we want to minimize any distraction or disruption for their ongoing businesses as possible. But we need to go into it knowing that there's going to be disruption. And I want to make sure that I don't have some, gruff guy that's been in the 40-year veteran in the GC industry, construction industry, yelling at subs every day, that then turn around when my lady who owns the little frame store comes out and asks, him to please, her banner fell down, can you please install it? That he is very customer service oriented on that ask, right? So I interviewed potential bidders, superintendents. If let's say we had 5 bids, when we got down to the final 2, I interviewed the superintendents that the boss of the company said would be on the job. So super important that I have a superintendent that's going to be on the job on a daily basis that's very customer service oriented. The removal of the signs, what we're going to do is we are going to offer to pay. We're going to say that they all need new signs. All of their signs are going to go in the garbage unless they want to keep them, but that's not going to be, none of them are going to want to keep their signs. So we're going to take the signs down. Part of the sign bid, which is a sizable contract also, is the removal of the signs and the dumping of the signs, right? And then putting up the new signs. So what I'm going to say is everyone needs a new sign. You're going to pay for half. I'm going to pay for half, and I will finance your half over the 6 months of rent. So if their sign's 10 grand, I'm going to pay 5 grand, and then they will finance $1,000 a month or $800 a month over the next 6 months for their half. Now, I'm going to meet with all of the tenants because there are things that they may want to trade with me for me to pay for all of their sign. And I am open to doing that. So this is going to be 23 opportunities to renegotiate clauses in their lease that I don't like. For example, 3 5-year options, fixed, things like that. So if I can horse trade and pay for their signs in full and get something meaningful, I'm going to do that. Safety and cleanliness, obviously super important that at the end of the day of the job, everything is cleaned up, put away, locked away, and we make sure that the plaza has no debris. There's no, I don't want we might have bucket trucks in certain time frames when we're doing things that we need a bucket truck for. But when we don't need a bucket truck, it's not parked in front of my plaza taking parking spaces. And that's going to be the same thing with when we put up the fencing and the scaffolding in front of the tenant spaces. We are going to have to take up some parking spaces, but as limited of parking spaces as possible to be taken up is going to be the goal. And then the same thing with sub parking. So subs, I've told them, and it's in their contract, that the subs need to park far away from the tenant businesses. Unfortunately, I don't have any spaces in the back of this plaza, so I can't have construction equipment or subs parking in the rear of the premises, but we can have them park far enough away, closer to the street than closer to the businesses. So that's something that has been communicated ad nauseum to everyone on the job, because I will probably be driving by this job, since it's 10 minutes from my house, every day during the construction, like I do now when we're not even in construction. So I said, I told them what kind of car I drive. So, they're going to know if I drive up and see, some demo guy's truck parked in front of one of my businesses and doesn't have a purpose to be there, I will be asking them to move their vehicle. And then I provide I happen to have a vacant space, and I'm going to provide that to my general contractor for an office. It is better for the city to know where to find these people. I don't want to add a trailer on site because that takes up parking spaces, which are very valuable for my businesses. So giving them the vacancy for an office on site. Obviously, I can show the space. If, Lululemon walks in tomorrow and wants the space, we'll get a trailer for the contractor and put it in parking spaces. But I don't see that happening. So therefore, they will be able to use that office and obviously keep it clean at all times. And I have access to show it if necessary. So those are some of the things that I thought it would be interesting to share with you. If you are also embarking on any kind of renovation, these are the types of things that I think about when renovating my plaza. So I hope you guys are liking the podcast. If you have any other topics you'd like me to discuss or have questions for me to answer, please feel free, reach out, DM me. And then also, I haven't mentioned this on the podcast. I think most of you know this. March 13th and 14th, I have my Women Investor Summit. So it's Women Investor Commercial Real Estate Summit. So it's 250 women in a room. I interview 8 to 10 investors. They share their stories, their journeys of how they have invested, how they've raised money, what asset classes, and then they go into breakout rooms and do deeper dives for the women, the attendees who are interested in specific asset classes like hospitality, self-storage, multifamily, retail. And then that's day one. Day two, we do some more of that. And then we go on a bus tour of my assets. And last year, we also did some multifamily assets that I'm an LP in. So it's a great 2-day event. Women have described it as life-changing. And if you are a woman, I'd love for you to attend. If you are a guy listening to it, send your wives. Send your wives, your sisters, your mothers. Get the people in your world that you want them to embrace what you're doing with investing. It's a great, great environment. I would say that of the 250 women in the room, 150 are investors and 80 to 90 are not. And we have a lot of great sponsors. These are vendors who I actually pay. My commercial real estate attorney, my land use counsel, the self-directed IRA fund people that we use, our general contractor who is doing the renovation. So these are all sponsors that most of them I have intimate relationship with. Some of them, my CPA, my financial advisor, I've been working with them for decades. So these are the kinds of people that I think that women that are investing in real estate need to know. And what's so great is because I have been paying these people, I have no hesitancy to endorse them from the stage. So they're more than sponsors, they're true partners. So that's March 13th and 14th. If you would like a ticket, I think there's 38 tickets left only, which is great. And you can find the tickets at azoracademy.com, www.azoracademy.com. So thanks for listening to the podcast. Like, share, and subscribe.